Earlier, I said everyone has to look at my mess because we're in the process of moving, but that doesn't mean that I forget about my business and I just kind of throw it to the wind. And one of the things that I have done since 2014 in joining in the business, a little bit about me also, I'm a 5th generation cattle rancher, and I literally live in the middle of nowhere. I live 60 miles from the nearest grocery store, and my only neighbor is my parents, and they live across the road a mile or two. So a lot of times people will ask me, how did you build a business way out like that? And all I will tell you guys is mainly it was social media, how I built a $1 million business and how I've helped my team members grow as well. And the cool thing about Lavelle is that this business goes wherever you go. And there are no excuses to be made because you literally could live on the moon and have success being a promoter with Lavelle, in my opinion. So what I wanted to start with today really is something that I feel I know quite a bit about, and that is social media. But I also wanted to talk about consistency and how the two go hand in hand with our businesses in Lavelle. So I have a question for you guys just to think about. You don't have to answer me or anything, but where are you at right now? And I don't mean physically. What I mean is, where are you at with your Lavelle business, number one? Like, where are your numbers at right now? Your QV, your PV, your qualification volume, your personal volume, like where are you at for the month of May? Where do you want to end the month of May? Because we have a full week left, you guys, and it ain't over till it's over, as I always say. Tomorrow is our last auto ship, so always keeping an eye on that. But where are you? Where do you want to be? So the same thing comes for us as thrivers. We're always striving to be better personally, physically. Physically, we're trying to be better because we're in the health and wellness industry. So where are you at with that? Where do you want to be? Social media, which is a business building mecca, in my opinion. Where are you at with that, and where do you want to go? So what I mean by that is when you look at your social media. So what I did to grow my business is when I came into Lavelle, I already had an established Facebook. And I had been a blogger for already almost 2 years before I came into Lavelle. Now, due to compliance standards, I couldn't go to my blog and just write as much as I wanted to about Lavelle. I always have to follow compliance. But I already had a ready-made audience that I had been building. Now, some of you watching might think, well, I don't have an audience, or I haven't done that. I don't blog. I don't talk about a lot of other things, in a roundabout way with people. All I can tell you guys right now is that you can start today. You can start today in positioning yourself in whatever niche or platform you want. So niche, what is that exactly? Well, I'll tell you what my niche is. So I'm 47 years old. I'm a cattle rancher. I'm a cowgirl. I'm a mom. I'm a homeschool mom. I love to cook. I love horses, love photography, love to write. Like, there's already 10 things. And I know that you guys could easily rattle off 10 things about yourself. That is what your niche is. And that is who you are going to be speaking to on social media. So sometimes I get confused when I was beginning in the business, and I was like, the whole world needs Thrive, and I need to be the one to tell them about it. Well, that's not really the way it works. Yes, the whole world needs Thrive, but that is too huge, right? That like makes me want to go crawl in my closet. If I think that I have to sell Thrive to everybody in the world, I mean, that would be a great commission check, let's just be honest, but that's just not reality, right? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So how do you build a large business? You start with one step, one small goal. And truly what that usually is when I was starting the business was free accounts. It was all about getting people into my network in a free, easy, breezy way, just to chat about what they are doing in life, who they are, what they're wanting. And people are going to tell you everything you need to know if you ask, if you look at their social media, if you build a relationship with them. That is how that happens. And that is not selling. That's what I love about this business is we're not the the weird used car salesman chasing people down the lot to sell them Thrive, right? I mean, I hope we're not doing that, because if you are, well, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that by creating a relationship with people, that is how it is best served, in my opinion, to get people thriving and to keep people thriving. So through a social media situation, for instance, when I said your niche, I want you to pick a platform to think about while I'm talking about this today. Now, I mentioned Facebook earlier. Facebook is where I built my network. I had over 100,000 followers on Facebook on my fan page when I came in, but I couldn't talk to them about Thrive. So how was I going to get, people interested? Well, I also had friends on my personal profile, and I could definitely post about Thrive all I wanted to. And that's what I did. And that's probably why, we hit the top rank in the company as a team in 6 months. But there was a time, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but for me, if I post now about Thrive, nobody sees my post unless I'm using something that is very unique to me, like my smiling face with my Thrive cap on. Like, that's not, nobody else looks like me, right? So they're going to post it, because Facebook doesn't want duplication. And they also really, truly don't want you selling unless you're on a fan page. Well, we can't sell on a fan page, so we can't do that. So we have to look at what the obstacles are, and we have to learn how to get beyond those. And how you get beyond those is by creating an essence of attraction marketing. Attraction marketing is basically selling to friends, is the way I like to think about it. And you're sharing, really, it's not so much selling. And that's why I asked you to look at where you're at now. So if you, for instance, are at 1,000 followers on Instagram, let's just say, what do you want to do to grow over there? Well, you need to obtain more views and more likes, more followers, right? That's where the money is. Because if people don't know who you are in this big, wide world, then they can't relate to you. And believe me, there's 6 degrees of separation with everyone. And even though I'm a cowgirl cattle rancher, I have people in Australia that thrive with me. I have people that live in Los Angeles that thrive with me. So don't ever sell yourself short on who you can get thriving with you at all. It's all about who you're positioning yourself with. So those goals are something that's really, really important, because it's going to get you out of your comfort zone. It's going to help you think about what you can do to be better, to grow, and it's going to help you get your message out there. So goals are something that you definitely want to write down, where you see and how you can gauge those. So you don't want to just say, well, I want to grow my following on Instagram. Okay, that's too broad. Let's say that 1,000 followers, let's say, and you want to make this time specific. So by May 31st, I want 1,100 followers on Instagram. How are you going to do that? Well, Instagram is one of those platforms that uses hashtags a lot. So there are Google searches you can do, and there's even apps out there that you can get that will help you with hashtags. Hashtags is how you're going to attract people to your profile. It's kind of like, the honey, and then you're trying to attract the bees. That's what that's going to help you do. Be careful of shadow banned hashtags, and that might be over your head, but basically there's hashtags where Instagram will hide things, kind of like Facebook hides things. And in case you didn't know, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So there is that. So if someone were to ask me today, what is my number one app that I use, number one social media platform, and it is Instagram. And that is because I am consistently in there every single day, and I make one post a day. You don't want to get overly creative with that. If you post too much, people are, it's going to be blocking up their feed, and they're not going to like it, and it's probably going to get you an unfollow. The other thing is that it shows consistency, and you can actually track your insights, which are your analytics in Instagram. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this because it'll just blow people's minds, and you can always go in, and there's other Instagram gurus out there. That's not me. I've done my own research, and I've listened to a few people. For instance, Chalene Johnson, she is someone that you can follow, and Brock Johnson, her son, He is huge about Instagram, and he drives me crazy with his reels that he does. So reels are like your videos, guys. And on Instagram, you can go and you can look at different things at the bottom, and reels are all about video. But we all know that video is where the action is. It isn't on a multi-used graphic from Lavelle that people have put out 5 million times. It's either like a picture of you holding, let's see, what's in my drawer? Okay, so I've got tack right here. It's me going like this and putting it on my arm. That is unique content, okay? It's also a video of me talking about what my step 3 is. Like, people don't know what that is. It's anything that is unique to you. Now, one piece of advice that I will give you that I have learned after going, I don't even know how many getaways. I think I've qualified for 18 or 19 of getaways. I haven't gone on every single one, but the majority I have. The cool thing about this, though, is whenever you go anywhere for Lavelle, I don't care if it's in your backyard for a little local, maybe you went to convention, maybe you're going to go on the next getaway here coming up in June. I encourage you to take as many pictures as you possibly can with you in the photo. So we always say, and I see a couple of my team members on here, and I'm laughing and smiling as I say it. They're like, oh, this is content I can use later. You guys, that is so smart. Think ahead of where you might use this. And in all truth, you might not use a beach photo until December coming up, because let's be honest, in December, most of America, not all of it, but most of our country is cold, icy, icky. Nobody wants to, they're miserable. They're, they've put on their 10 pounds from the holidays or whatever it is, and they're just miserable. And they want to go somewhere fun, warm, get sand in their toes. Well, there's you on Instagram with your picture on the beach in Mexico. Okay. And you earned that trip for free. And there's a way that you can promote that out, and they're going to be attracted to you. So that's the thing, is that's why it's attraction marketing. And the truth is there is a marketing rule of 7 that is on, you can Google this if you want, but marketing rule of 7 is that people need to see something an average of 7 times before they buy it or even are going to talk to you about it. So a lot of times as human beings, we get upset if we put amazing content out there and it just falls flat on its face. You don't hear from anybody, okay? Well, nowadays too, you're gonna have to reach out and connect with people. And that's where the analytics from stories, your profile, whatever, you can see who has liked, loved, whatever, your stuff. And that is a great conversation to go to a message with. That's a great way to use audio messaging too. So let's say that I put this picture out with my tack, and I post it on there, and it's in a story, and I'm going like this, a cute little boomerang video or something where I'm going like this, where it's shaking. And if you look at my story today, mine's all about Thrive Skin. I love our Thrive Skin line, and I have introduced that to a lot. I have a big skincare background, which is very weird for being a cattle rancher, but I do. So that's what's cool, is dip your hands in a lot of different areas. And yeah, I consider myself a skincare expert. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so I can say that, right? And I was into aesthetics and did skincare for almost 7 years. So that's the fun part, though. Don't be afraid to take a selfie with your bare face and then do a before and after. People want to see what it's doing for you. And so there's a goofy picture of me on there with the charcoal mask. I mean, and I look goofy. I'm like, oh, do I really want to post this? I look like a nightmare. But it's funny because people kind of want to be entertained, right? Like, we don't want to just, oh, that's boring. We want to be like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Well, wait a minute. She says it makes her skin clear and bright and smooth. Like, well, I want that. And hey, she's offering a sample. I'm going to message her. So that's what you want to do, guys. And then if you watch the amazing training that they did Saturday, it was all about the sample, right? The sampling website and how you can use it and all of the tips and tricks. So the other thing about this is that consistency is absolute key. I got to check time because I'm talking like a nightmare. Okay. This is what happens to me. So I apologize. But so I achieved Auto Elite in May of 2018, and I have maintained that every single month except for 2 since then. So that's 3 full years of Auto Elite, you guys. But The only reason I missed those 2 months is because I only had 12, which is the minimum. And if you guys don't know what Auto Elite is, you get $1,600 a month, or you earn that as a 40K leader and up. So that's huge, because I mean, that's $9,600 a year, I think is the math on that. I might be wrong because I'm talking off the fly here, but I wanted that. And we drive big pickups out here and they're expensive. So I needed that $1,600. And Susan, I know you know all about pulling horse trailers and whatnot. It's not cheap. I can't, and I'm not saying cars are cheap either, but you get the drift. So 3 years, how did I do that? Well, consistency is huge. And when somebody upgrades to brand promoter and I only had 12, it kicks them out of the customer category. So that's why I missed it 2 times. And it's okay. I didn't go cry about it. I was like, yay, I got a new brand promoter. So next month I need to make sure that I have a minimum of 12 or 13 so that it doesn't happen again. But what I have done with my customers, so once somebody says yes to you after that 7th time, I personally think that it's really, really important to remain consistent on social media, especially. And I know some people get like kind of burned out, but don't do that, you guys. Social media is a part of what we do as brand promoters. And you can't like not put anything out there and expect to get anything. It's kind of like a fisherman. If the fisherman sits home and is like, you know what, I'm tired of fishing, I don't want to go out on the boat today, he's going to be hungry at supper time. But if he goes out there and pitches that net, he might only catch 1 fish, but hey, he caught a fish, right? And some days he's going to catch 1 fish, maybe 0 fish, but he's trying, he's putting the effort out there and he's being consistent. So that's what I mean by that. But social media isn't just about, getting new people. Of course we want that, but it's also continuing to give validation to those who've already said yes to you. Because in my opinion, I can take a no from somebody who doesn't know how amazing Thrive is. But what really makes me want to go cry in the corner is when someone who's been thriving quits. And then they go away. And it's like, oh, what did I do? What could I have done? And the reality is people are going to make their own decisions, you guys. But what were you doing prior to that? And I had to have this talk in the mirror with myself, because I was really only speaking to new people. Like, I want to get all the new people. Remember, I'm going to get the world thriving earlier. Well, no, I want to keep my customers and promoters thriving. So how do I do that? Well, consistency on social media is one, because if I'm thriving and loving it, they're going to reflect and say, oh yeah, I didn't even think about my sleep. Yeah, I'm always talking about energy, but guess what? I have amazing sleep. Or guess what? I can roll out of bed and jump out and be ready for the day, and my heel doesn't hurt anymore. Hello. So there's these subtle little things that you want to always be, touching on. Great skin. I have a lot of people on my team who use this three steps who have never even ventured down the Thrive Skin road. That is another way to get people loving what we do here at Lavelle. It's choices. There's so many choices here, and that's what's amazing about it. So consistency, but also thank yous are huge. And I love nothing more. You want to knock somebody's socks off, you guys? Sit down for 5 minutes and write a handwritten thank you. I'm telling you, when was the last time you got a handwritten thank you in the mail? I sent out graduation gifts for people and I still haven't gotten a thank you. And I'm not saying, oh, bad them. I'm just saying, if you want to stand out from the crowd and if you want to be the one that they think of when Thrive, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, my friend Cheyenne, she sells Thrive. Like her friend is telling her, hello, that's the refer to program too. And it's hard to go out to somebody like a customer who's new and say, hey, let's refer all your friends and I'll help you thrive for free. A lot of times they're like, ooh, I don't want to promote. I never wanted to do that. I just want to use my product over here and I'm fine. But if you consistently are saying, hey, whenever you're ready, don't forget, I have 2 free sample packs with your friends' names on them whenever you decide who those 2 people are. So constantly be friendly and don't be pushy. Checking in with them. You know that their auto ship is going to roll on the 15th. So on the 13th, you check in with them. And don't be scared that they're going to say, oh, you know what, I'm not... That might happen. I don't know. But by you being out there, it also might happen that they're like, you know what, I'm loving this so much. I want to start promoting. What is it going to take for me to do that? I know you're always posting about how Tuesday rewards are amazing. What does that look like for you? What is that? What does that mean? Also, you might say, hey, I don't know if you saw it or not yet, but I know that you love the old Activate flavors that we had. And I know Pina Colada went away, but guess what? Now we have this new amazing flavor that's gonna, it's a service that you're providing for people. And then celebrating their wins is huge. And literally, you guys, it doesn't have to be pounds off the scale. It could be radiating skin. It could be feeling just fantastic, getting down on the floor and playing with their kids or grandkids, like celebrate them. And making sure that it's okay. Like we have a customer group that's compliance approved. I love nothing more than celebrating my customers in there too, because it gives them more validation. And then the last thing on that, is I offer free shipping every month to my consistent auto ship customers. It is $15 for each of them. And if you look at 12 people, you guys, I'm increasing my auto bonus by $800. I can afford to give back, pay it forward to them. And then I still have credits left over to help new people thriving. And since Lavelle added in the ability to turn part of our check into credits, there should never be a day where we don't have credits, and if we don't, we might have to wait till payday, of course, or you might have used them all up for the month. Budget yourself there too, of course, but that's just a little bit about that. And again, that is why social media is so important for us. And people are going to buy you before they buy your product. So if all you're doing though is talking about Thrive, did I go off the screen?
You're still good.
I am?
Yep.
I can't see anybody.
We can see you.
All right, I'm going blind. I cannot see anybody. So I don't know what happened here. I think I know. Somebody tried to call me from Pennsylvania. That's probably my customer. Anyway, so just remember that they buy you before they're going to buy the product. And if you're constantly being that used car salesman, they're probably just going to quit watching your story, not look at your profile, and they're going to go on. And if you look at my profile on Instagram, you won't see any mention of Thrive, maybe other than in my highlights. And every once in a while I will post in there, but I make it secondary because I want to attract my niche first before I worry about totally talking to them face to face or online about that. But I definitely put it in my stories as often as I can. And I post 2 to 3 times a day in my stories. So I post usually 2 to 3 graphics in the morning, a couple at noon, and then a couple in the evening. And if you think about it, in the morning, it's energy, right? Or getting ready for the day, which is what I did with my goofy picture of me in my mask. And then midday, maybe it's, hey, I'm so glad not to have a slump. I feel amazing. And just make sure it's a picture of your DFT, whatever. And I roll my eyes because I'm like, whatever, there's so many ideas out there that you can use. And then evening, it's all about sleep and getting ready to get out of bed the next day and tackle my day. And that's really what it is. So I think consistency is what's going to draw new people in, but it's also going to make your yeses, your people who are already thriving with you, they're just going to know that they did the right thing. And I've had people leave Lavelle Thrive and they've gone to something else, and it never fails, but I hear back from them. And especially this year, for whatever it is, I've had a lot of people coming back and saying, I tried this and it just didn't work. And can I come back and start thriving again? And of course, my answer is absolutely yes. What can I do to help? And that's where free credits come in handy. You know what? I'd be glad to offer you free shipping. I'm not saying give them their Thrive for free, because no, we want people to have a little skin in the game, right? We want people to know that, hey, you got to pay to play. You got to be able to account for that. And it's worth every penny. Like, if Thrive costs $1,000 a month, I'm definitely finding a way to make that happen, but we don't have to, because we thrive for free. And if you aren't thriving for free yourself, you can use a lot of these tips and ideas to help you thrive for free and get that as well. So I have more, Susan, but I know we only have 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to end it there. And if there's anything I can answer, or anybody wants to know anything, I'm glad to answer anything you want to know.
I'm glad you talked about those thank you notes, because I talk about that all the time. It's really a big deal. People, we struggle to have those 12 auto ships. And I never want to say this is a bragging thing. This is definitely a consistency thing I worked on for a while, that by tomorrow, when my auto ships drop, there'll be 25. I'll have 25. So I don't have to worry about one dropping off. But I didn't do that overnight. I think when we started Auto Bonus Lead, I had three. I had three customers who ordered. Not every month there was three different ones. And so I was always just struggling to make sure I got my products for free, right? And that I had credits to pass on. But I do the same thing as you. I remind everybody that their auto ship is coming up. And then I'm like, hey, and I'm dropping credits onto your account before your order runs tomorrow. They have no idea how much those credits are, but usually I do try to cover their shipping. But it's just something about sending out that personalized note seems to make a big difference. And if you only have 2 customers right now, if you only have 3 customers, like I started with, start sending those notes. Every month they get very excited to open that up and see what might be inside. And I don't know what you put in yours, but I usually will put, well, this time it's going to be these, but I usually put either a blast of thirst or one of the patches that they're not using.
Yep, that's exactly. And I went to Hobby Lobby and I literally, my husband thought I bought a suitcase. It's like this little box, it's a big box. And he's like, what's in there? It's all blank notes, color coded. It's the coolest thing ever. And I think it was like $9. I have probably 1,000 notes in there that I can use for whatever I want. So it's, cost effective too.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Those were definitely some good tips. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Can you see us yet?
No. What happened?
Let's see if anybody had any questions. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat because we have about 3 minutes left. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't understand why people stop thriving either. It's absolutely crazy, or why they never actually order. What's wrong with them? Beat my head up against the wall.
If we knew the answer to that, we'd have it all figured out, right?
It's funny that she kept talking about the sleazy used car salesman because I came from the car business, but I was never a car salesman. But
well, okay, in my defense, the only reason I talk about that is I literally had a guy chasing me down. I was driving in my car looking at used pickups, and he literally was tapping on my window. I'm not kidding, like chasing me down. It was ridiculous. So that's not my favorite.
That is a hard business to be in, but I know for a fact that so many cars are now sold by what they see on the internet now before people even walk into the dealership. So a lot of what you post on Facebook, if you go and look on your social media, do they know that you're a cattle rancher? Do they know that you're a mama? Do they know that you're a homeschooler? Do they know that you're a thriver? If they don't see your storefront on your social media, they don't know what you do. It's very important. Very good point, but it is funny that you say that. But Cheyenne, I'm with you. I was so thankful when my son earned his truck bonus, and he gets a truck bonus every month to pay for that black dually truck that hauls those cows and horses down the road. And now, mind you, he had to make his own truck payment. We didn't do that for him. He's old enough to make his own, but talk about $800 come off a 19-year-old's budget. And my son cowboys for a living. So I heard the other day how to make $1 million in the cattle business is you need to start with 4 million.
I said how to be a millionaire in the cattle ranching industry is to start as a billionaire.
Yeah.
No,
so, but his truck being paid for every month, think of what else he could do. So that was a big deal. I'm so glad that they added trucks because those are some expensive vehicles. There's no doubt about it, especially if you have to have the kind that my son and Cheyenne has to have. So we're super thankful for that. But when you get 2 car bonuses because you've worked your tail off, can I just tell y'all that auto bonus elite, yes, it takes time to get to that point, but I remember it being a vision that I wanted, and I didn't have it immediately. Remember, I only had 3 customers. So how was I going to get consistently 12 customers coming every time? But when I qualified for that for the first month, I was moving. Like I was in the process of moving into my new home. And I thought, why are you putting that stress on you? But it was a goal that I had. And it was the picture of it was in my face every day. And I can't stand to not be able to check something off a list. And then, and I've had it consistently. I've missed a few months in there before, and which is totally okay. But it's a process. But you know what it's taught me? If I want to get that, I have to up my game on my customer service. And it's not just my customers. I have to up my game on my promoter service. Like I have to be there for them too. So, that's kind of a big deal. So I will drop this. Very important to always send thank you notes to your customers. But if you had promoters who came in and ordered maybe for the very first time that promoter pack during your big promo, or they just helped you hit your triple, or they just ordered, send them a thank you note and tell them how much you appreciate them being invested in their business. My favorite thing to send to new promoters is a package of blasts that says, I can't wait to see what kind of blast we have in this business together.
Love that.
I mean, it's just, but they open it up and I just sent them something free that cost me about 50 cents or however much blast costs. I don't even know. So it's just very important to do that. Well, Cheyenne, we super appreciate your time today. And guys, I hope y'all just through the summer series, Cheyenne was part of it. And we're so thankful that we were able to bring in some promoters to do this with us. But I hope you all have a super blessed Monday. Wait, before I jump off, I got to check. Cheyenne is freaking awesome. I don't know if you saw that.
What?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm flying blind. Thank you, though. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you all for the comments. Okay, guys, y'all have a great Monday. Talk to you soon.